There we go. There's a cycle. Welcome to the PFO channel. I'm Jim. I've been contacted by a company that saw my videos about the mouse damage under the hoods of a couple of our vehicles, and they offered graciously to send me one of their devices. It's an ultrasonic pest repeller, and they asked if I would review it and let you all know what I think. And it has arrived, and I can hardly wait to see what's in it. So what they've sent me is an X-Pest battery-operated underhood rodent repellent. I'm pretty excited that they sent this to me to test because, to be honest with you, I've been quite a skeptic about these ultrasonic pest repellers. So it's pretty cool to be able to get an opportunity here to review it and see what I think about it without having to front any of the money. So it looks like there are 4 of the actual repeller devices on here. And then, okay, 4 sets of wires. So it's a USB powered device. This would work for the interior of a vehicle. I know the FJ Cruiser has, I don't know, got at least 6 USB connectors in there. This particular one here looks like it's well suited to going under the hood. Yeah, okay, this is a nice setup right here. This is probably the wire that I'm going to end up using. I don't have USB plugs under the hood, although I might use that for some tests. So that plugs in there. And then we've got an inline fuse, which is nice, and then positive and negative. So I could wire this in either directly to one of the batteries, or I could put it into the auxiliary fuse panel in the FJ Cruiser. Okay, it's also got the possibility for 4 AA batteries on the back here. Got an on-off switch. It's got some LEDs on the front. And then there's an assortment of zip ties, 4 little built-in loops to help secure it to something. All right, let's see what this thing is all about. Got an extension cord here with a charging block. Ooh, that's true. It's not quieting the neighbor's dog down at all. Of course, I guess that wasn't one of the things it was advertised to do. There it goes. All right, I'm jumping back in here. When I started doing the editing on this video, I discovered something pretty interesting. When I turn this thing on, I hear the beep when it starts up, and then I hear the clicking noise, and that's all I hear. There's lights flashing. The red light on top flashes while it's clicking, and then the strobes flash on the front, and it looks like it does that, a 10-second cycle of that every 2 minutes. And that's all I can hear is the beep and the clicking. The beep is only when I first power it on. I discovered something pretty interesting when I pulled this up into my video editing software. When it gets to the part where the strobes are flashing, I can hear this tone that I cannot hear when I'm just standing there live listening to this device. It's like a tone that goes down scale and then back up the scale, like, yeah, kind of like that. And it does it twice during each 10-second cycle. Somehow my microphone is picking that up, and something in that editing software that I'm using must be translating that from ultrasonic to something under 20,000 hertz, because when I'm editing the video with my headphones on, I can hear it every single time this thing cycles in the video. Thinking maybe it's just my ears going bad, I brought my wife out and she can't hear it either live, and of course she can hear it on the video. This is my first experience with an ultrasonic noise emitter, so I don't know if that's normal or not, but I found it pretty interesting when I discovered that in the software. So that noise that you're hearing every time the strobes flash, that is not something that you're going to hear when you're plugging in the device and standing next to it. I think I figured out a way to put this ultrasonic rodent repeller to a test. I don't have a ready supply of mice where I know the mice are going to be in a certain spot at a certain time, but another rodent around here is extremely predictable. That is the little red squirrels that come to our bird feeder. So I'm going to try a little test here. I'm going to put the peanuts and sunflower seeds out here. First, I'm going to do it without this, just a normal morning at the bird feeder. And then I'm going to put this out there, shut off, and see if they come to it without fear. And then I'm going to turn it on, run it 2 different ways turned on. One with it covered so that they can't see the flashing strobe lights, and another one with the strobe lights exposed, because I'm a little curious if this does in fact repel rodents. Is it more to do with the flashing strobes or more to do with the ultrasonic sound that it emits? So anyway, I'm going to set up that test and see what happens. Okay, birds, come get a peanut. That's the dinner bell. Now this is the first test, which has the cord in place, but the ultrasonic rodent repeller is not in position. All right, let's get back up in the house where it's a little bit more bearable temperature-wise and watch through the window and see what happens. Okay, and here comes the red squirrel. It's been, what, 2.5 minutes? And that's his normal routine. He comes up the pole, grabs a seed, and he sets on that front left side where he can keep an eye on me, because I'm usually watching him back. Not usually, but quite often I'm up here in the window looking back at him. All right, that's enough. I don't want that squirrel to get too much to eat this morning. I want him to have the desire to come back for more. So I'm going to go back out there and install the device. Part 2 of the test is to place the device but have it shut off. I just want to see if the presence of the box itself disrupts them. And again, the blue jays are back at it already before I even get back into the house and out to the window. And they try to get in there and arf down as many peanuts as they can before the squirrel comes and chases them away. Okay, here comes the squirrel. He's coming up the pole. Okay, now look at that. He sees the black box, and he is a bit nervous. He's back down the post. Now he really wants a peanut, so he's back up there. He's trying to get up the nerve. He's definitely irritated. Look at it. He's flipping his tail. Back down on the post. And back up in it again. Yeah, he's going to be persistent. All right, so he's back in the left front corner there. It looks like he's back into his normal routine. It's been, what, 13 minutes since I put the device out. Again, this is turned off. It's just sitting in the corner of the bird feeder. He was nervous at first and visibly irritated by it. He just didn't like it being there, but it only took him a very short time to get over it. All right, now I'm going to go back out there, and my next step is to turn it on, but I'm going to put a glove over it so that they can't see the strobe lights. They can only hear the sounds emitted by it. Okay, there he goes. Okay, for step 3 of the experiment, I'm just going to put this glove over top of it and turn it on. First, I'm going to turn it on and let it go through its startup sequence because it gives a tone which will probably disturb them. Okay, now we're just getting the green strobe, so it's doing its normal timed routine, so I'll put the glove over it. All right, the glove is in place and the device is turned on. Oh, red-breasted nuthatch now. He's not going to go in. Look at that. He's going around the edge, and he took off before he even took a seed. They don't like it. So based on that, I'm thinking that the birds, at least, don't like whatever noises this thing is putting out. Look at, they don't like it. They're flaring away. It's been 25 minutes and that squirrel hasn't come anywhere in sight, and that's significant because when there's peanuts out there, he doesn't wait. All right, the next step is to remove the glove and leave it turned on. You know, that was part of my original plan, and I'm going to stick to the plan. I really don't expect any difference in what's going on out there. Everything has completely stopped coming to the bird feeder with the glove over it and the device turned on. Now just pulling the glove off, I don't think it's going to make any difference. I'm watching for the strobes. I'm not sure what the... There it goes. 446. All right, we're going to skip ahead here in the video. It's been an hour and a half and there's no red squirrel. He's not coming back. So I'm going to go out there and I'm going to back it up now. I'm going to shut it off and leave the device in there and see how long it takes things to return to normal, because I kind of am curious to know if the absence of any activity around the bird feeder is because of this device or because of the inordinate amount of my activity out around the bird feeder this morning. Oh, by the way, while we're waiting for the squirrel to come back, I was hoping to find a smartphone app that would measure the frequencies emitted by this device, or at least detect the ultrasonic frequencies. And I downloaded every frequency spectrum analyzer I could find, but they all seem to be limited to the range of human hearing, which tops out at about 20,000 hertz. Mice can allegedly hear up to 90,000 hertz, and squirrels up to just under that, maybe 75,000 hertz. But this device puts out, I think it's 18,000 to 36,000 hertz. So I think that the red squirrel is a reasonable stand-in. They're both able to hear the entire range of sound allegedly created by this device. We can't necessarily conclude that the red squirrel's behavior or the red squirrel's reaction to it will be the same as a mouse's reaction. But they're both rodents and they both can hear it, so that's why I'm doing this test. Here comes the squirrel. It's been an hour and a half since I shut the thing off, and the squirrel's finally back. The birds were coming out before that, but the squirrel has finally decided to come out of hiding. And interestingly, that squirrel didn't hesitate this time. You know how when I first put the device out, he was very hesitant to be in the feeder with it. He was nervous about it. That just tells me that the birds and the squirrel don't have any idea where the sound was coming from, and they have not associated the sound with that black box. All right, it's the next day and the device is gone. Life at the PFO bird feeder is back to normal. Well, as unscientific as it was, that test that I did at the bird feeder has helped me to overcome a great deal of my skepticism about ultrasonic rodent repellers. So my next step is to go ahead and attach this into one of the cars. I think I'm going to put it in the Venza because that's our everyday driver and it has sustained the most mouse damage this year. So that's going to be the first place I deploy this. So I'm going to go out to the Venza right now, pop the hood, see if I can find an easy, convenient place to hook this up. Goodness, that's ice. Holy smokes. We're actually in the middle of an ice rain right now. Cold out here. Okay, the first order of business is to figure out if I can attach this to the battery. And actually, that would. But this one? Okay. I think that will. So what I need then is my little adjustable wrench. Now every car is going to be different. See how I just took that nut off, put the terminal under it. Now I'm doing the same thing on this side. Just take the nut off. I suppose I could take the washer off as well. Put that under there. now I have to attach the device somewhere in the vicinity because I'm limited now to about, I don't know, 2 feet or so. I want to plug it in and see it do its thing. And turn it on. Okay, that is getting its power. All right. Actually, of all the places under the hood here, this over here seems to be the most obvious spot. I'll still be able to get down to the clamps to change my air filter. I think I'm going to do it 1, 2, 3 zip ties right there like that. And I grabbed a couple more zip ties out of my stash because I want to constrain this a little bit. Okay, I just zip tied this wire, one of them to the battery handle, another one just down to this harness, just so that doesn't flop around. Turn that on. All right, this is a sad day for the neighborhood mice, I hope. All right, it's up and running. I'll let you know if I see any problems with this thing depleting the battery to where I can't get a good start. And if that happens, I'll go to the backup plan of putting in the 4 AA batteries. That's a really good feature. I'm glad that they included that. And oh, another feature of this thing in the description, it says that this thing senses motion of the car and it shuts itself off. And then after you get home or stop the car, it will detect that the motion has ceased and it'll go back into its normal cycle. If that's, my ice is falling off. Look at that, sheets of ice coming off the hood. Yeah, that's another bit of advice. If you're gonna hook this up to your car, don't do it on a day when you've got ice rain. My fingers are just freezing right now. Now, X-Pest was nice enough to give us a discount code. You'll find that below along with the Amazon link if you want to check this out and give it a try in your own car. As you can see, the performance of this thing on my test at the bird feeder has earned it a spot under the hood of my family car. So we'll see what happens. One of the things that is unanswered by my test at the bird feeder and is also unanswered in what I can find on the internet, and that is with regard to the general field of ultrasonic rodent repellers and the question of whether or not the rodents can become acclimated to having this device around. And I haven't found any study results that would answer that question for me. If the folks at X-Pest know of a test like that, or if they've conducted one themselves, that would be a great thing to add to the description in their Amazon listing. According to the manufacturer's recommendations, they recommend installing 2 of these in a vehicle for maximum protection. So for the second one, I've installed 4 AA batteries, and I'm going to place this back here in the luggage compartment. All right, got the green lights. This car should be fully protected now. One under the hood and one in the back. The X-Pest people have sent this to me free of charge to do this review. It's not a paid product placement. It's not a paid promotional, but it is a free product for the purposes of me doing the testing and providing a review. So there you have it. That's my review. So hope it's helpful for you. Thanks a lot for watching. PFO channel out.